I'm making my easy, beefy, cheesy enchilada casserole. All right, I'm gonna start building up some of the base flavor for the red sauce for my enchiladas. I got some tomato paste. Just gonna get a couple of tablespoons in out of my can here. If you end up with tomato paste left over, do what I do. Just put it in a plastic bag and flatten it out and put it in the freezer so the next time you make a soup or a red sauce or your easy, beefy, cheesy enchilada, you can just kind of break off a piece like a brick. A lot simpler, and then you don't waste up the whole can. All right, so now I'm gonna stir this into my onions. Remember, I started with just a little bit of olive oil, some onions, and some salt so they could sweat out. It's okay to kind of jack up the heat on that right now. All right, now in this pan right here, remember I got my onions in. I minced up some garlic, put that in there as well with my yellow and my green bell pepper halves. To that, I'm gonna add some ground beef, 1.5 pounds. It's gonna go in because we're making beef enchiladas. You can do chicken, I don't know, you could do turkey if you like. Any kind of enchiladas you wanna make are just fine with me. A little onion powder goes in here. I know I have onions in here, but the powder, it just has like a more deeper, intense flavor. And then I'm gonna put some cumin in to both of my pans, both in the beef side and in my sauce. Ooh, ooh, don't go too far. Sprinkle it around. But you know, what I'm gonna add right now is something that I always have in my pantry, good for Spanish and Latin meals. It's kind of like the bouillon cube or packet of Latin cooking, and that's sazon. Let me tell you, so much stuff is in here. We've got some color going on with the achiote, saffron, there's cilantro in here, just a lot of goodness that's kind of like you just can't get anywhere else, so it's good to put one full packet in. I'm just gonna make this nice and brown, get some color on my ground beef here before I add in some of the beef broth. Of course, if you're doing chicken, you can add chicken broth. You can add veggie broth if you want, but I like to kind of get all the flavors in there. I'm gonna get my little can ready to go for my red sauce with my whole tomatoes. Really quick, I'm getting in my Roma tomatoes. Just went ahead and seeded them, and I'm getting them chopped down to size into the beefy part of my easy, beefy, cheesy enchilada casserole I'm gonna make here. All right, now on my red sauce side here, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a taste before I add my beef stock, but it started pretty much the same as I did the beefy side. Just a little bit of salt. I started with some onions, some garlic, sweated them down, then I added some tomato paste and cooked it down to it was nice and golden, deep reddish brown. That's just gonna really help with the depth of flavor here. And of course, a whole can of peeled tomatoes with their juices. A little bit of broth over the top at the end here to kind of loosen it up. And this is gonna be perfect. Right down in your 13 by 9, get a nice big old ladle of the sauce. Look at that. Just move it around, make sure it completely covers everything. Then I've got my corn tortillas here. Overlap them a little bit, and then keep on moving down. And now right on top of this layer, I'm gonna go ahead and put some of the beef. See, just like layering up, just like layering up. Right over the top. Now don't use all of the beef, just about half of it. I'm gonna make 2 layers of meat, 3 layers of tortilla, and in between the layers of meat and tortilla, I'm gonna throw on some cheddar cheese and some Monterey Jack cheese, nice and oozy and cheesy. Easy, beefy, cheesy, enchilada casserole. Nice healthy sprinkle of cheddar cheese over the top here for my easy, beefy, cheesy enchilada casserole. Gonna get it right into my oven, 350 degrees, for about, I say 30, 35 minutes. Layer upon layer of flavor there. At the bottom, we've got the sauce that I made. Homemade sauce, it's a good thing to do.